Right.
Nerdy news.
Nerdy news. We've got
Quite
a
a lot.
thick boy.
Yeah, there's quite a lot happened this week, quietly.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do a quick double check. I don't think it has dropped yet. It doesn't appear to have.
The Captain America.
We've got a bit of time. We'll see if it comes. First and foremost, we finally got a trailer for Agatha All Along.
Yes, we did.
So the visuals of the trailer actually looks like it's shot quite nicely.
Yes.
That is the only thing of interest to me in this entire trailer.
And it's purely off the moment when her character becomes like black and white. I think again as well. Looks like it's shot really well, and I imagine it will be. I'm worried from just that they're going to try and lean too much on the enjoyment everyone had from WandaVision of the various styles, and like it's been a long time since that. And to kind of like pull us back to that.
Yeah, was WandaVision like 2019? Like, am I losing my mind here?
Like, this is a character we haven't done anything with since then, and it's like you're gonna want the people to get back in love with that moment.
It was January 21. It's been 3.5 years.
So yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's going to be tough to get the viewer on that.
Yeah. I don't know what the opposite of striking while the iron is hot is, but this is an example of that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they've maybe, and for whatever reason, and maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe this will actually be quite an interesting story.
Yeah. One thing that's already caused a little bit of controversy is the teenage boy in the background is reportedly Wiccan.
Okay.
And he is quite flamboyant and camp in the trailer.
Right.
And despite the fact that Wiccan is gay, Wiccan is not typically characterized as being quite flamboyant and camp. So people are like, it kind of feels like you just went, okay, Wiccan's gay, let's make a gay stereotype character. Which is potentially quite a large issue if that is in fact the case.
Yeah. I wonder if, not that this makes it any better, but if they're, like in WandaVision, we got like alternate reality versions of
maybe
characters, didn't we? With Quicksilver or whatever. Whether they kind of play off that again, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see.
For sure. We'll give it a chance, of course we will. Aubrey Plaza alone, I'll give a chance to anything for. She's a phenomenal actress. And maybe it will end up being like a dark horse for like, wow, that was actually really good. Maybe because no one really is desperately wanting it, there'll be less people being angry on the internet about it every week.
I will say the potential in it is it looks very horror focused, and if they go like full in on the horror aspect, it could be very fun for like a Marvel thing.
For sure. Now this was a really cool one you sent me literally today, and Josh isn't here, so we're just gonna steal it from him. We're getting a teenage. Oh no, I sent it to you. I think. A Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game set in the Mutant Mayhem verse.
Yes,
the same universe that the film was set in. It looks class.
Yeah, I mean the art style we love. So the art style works so well in a game.
I think it's not really a gameplay trailer at all. I think there's bits of what look like gameplay.
Yeah,
but it's more cinematic.
I mean, it is exactly what we thought they were doing, which is they are fully relaunching like every aspect of the franchise. They came out with new toys. They wanted to do a TV show. We'd obviously had the film. Them doing a game as well makes total sense. I'm all for it. And like I said to you in the message, the way they worded it in the trailer, like play solo or play as the full team, and I'm like, does that mean co-op? Because if co-op, very cool.
The arguments will be who gets to be Raph or Mikey, though. No one wants to be Leonardo, let's be honest.
True.
Everyone's going to be going, I want to be Raph, I want to be Mikey. But it looks like fun. I've said recently I want to get back into more story games. Maybe I'll give this one a go.
I mean, if it's co-op, I'm so down for us doing like a 4-player. If it
I think it's
allows
console
online
only.
co-op,
I think it's console only.
I'll be fuming if it is.
The only console's been announced so far, so it might be a later date we get a PC port.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess we'll wait and see.
But what I will say is, at the end of that trailer, it shows that it's selling it on the Switch. That gives such full-person Switch vibes. It's unreal.
Yes, it does. Thinking about it, yeah, it's got to be at least couch co-op.
Yeah, couch co-op, 4-person
Four little
on the Switch.
little Joy-Cons.
If that's the kind of vibe they've built this game around, it will probably be fun as hell.
Yeah.
We got a Superman logo
We did,
reveal for
James
like
Gunn.
the film logo.
Yep.
I mean, I was a big fan of this logo when we saw it for the first time anyway. I know people have some mixed opinions on it. I think the logo fucking slaps.
Yeah, I mean,
I like it. It looks cool.
It fully seems visually fits the vibe of very bright comic book heavy feeling, like feels very traditional Superman logo.
Yeah.
I mean,
I saw someone put together like the 4 Superman logos we've had in live action.
right.
And that really dark drab Henry Cavill one sticks out like a sore thumb.
I mean, that's good and bad. Like it stands out.
Yeah.
It's just
My point is that I've been screaming for what feels like 2.5 years now. I want comic books to be bright and fun and colourful, and this logo is them things. I don't know what more I can actually ask for when it comes to Superman logo than that. This is a really interesting one.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah, Laz Alonso from The Boys plays Mother's Milk.
Hmm.
Wants season 5 to end on a cliffhanger and set up a franchise-ending movie. Anthony Starr has also said he's down for this, so I think they're on a panel somewhere. They're being asked questions, and someone asked how he wants the show to end, and he was like, "I don't mind too much like the specifics of the story, but I think he was saying that he'd like it to end in a big film."
That would be cool.
The problem is people are starting to turn on The Boys. As with everything, the internet likes something until it doesn't.
True.
This season is getting panned week in, week out, even though its viewership has never been higher, and I think it's just as good as previous seasons. So it would be a big risk.
Yes and no, because it's like, it depends how they do it as a film, right? Doesn't mean it has to be a film in the cinema.
I think it kind of defeat the point if it wasn't in the cinema. I'm not a fan of films going straight to a service or straight to TV.
See, this is where the anime person in me is used to this, where you often get a season of an anime and then sometimes the next one is like they do a film episode, which is like a feature length.
Yeah, but have we not seen how Stranger Things have handled that?
Stranger Things hasn't done.
Yeah, their last season was basically 3 feature lengths, and now all of their new episodes that they're coming out with feature lengths.
Yeah, but that's just but it's still a season format. Like in anime, that's just like there's a film, and that's it. I think it could work because, like, yes, you could release it in cinema, but I think the issue there is people that maybe haven't watched The Boys or pay attention to have any clue what The Boys is, and then the people though that go to cinema or see cinema adverts and then like, oh, what's this Boys thing? Have no fucking concept of what.
The Venn diagram of people who've seen The Boys and people who enjoy going to the cinema might not be as big as it needs to be for it to make financial sense.
No, which is why I think. But if you did a film episode that's like we have season 5 and then we get a 2.5 hour finale film, and they put that on Prime, and it just releases straight onto Prime, and it's like you go. Or if you go on The Boys, it's like season 1, the drop down says season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5. You put it under season 6, and the season 6 is it's a film. You can do it that way, and I think it still could work.
It would be interesting. I'm not against the idea at all.
Do you know what would be funnier? Is if it ends on a cliffhanger, they say they're bringing out a film, and then the film is just one of the films from inside The Boys.
That'd be really fun.
Like Homelander versus the Starlighters, and it's just like it's what the fight would have been, but from their perspective of a film.
I really do feel bad for the VCU's equivalent to Kevin Feige though, because they just announced like 6 Tech Knight films, and then he got dusted like the next day.
They'll just recast. They recast Noir.
The Penguin Show is now officially a HBO show.
Oh, well.
So it'll be airing on HBO before going to Max. This is now 100% confirmed.
Okay, right, well, there we go. Max is dead.
And the show will also have a panel on the July 27th at San Diego Comic-Con with Colin Farrell and
That's cool.
Matt Reeves in attendance, as well as others.
That's cool.
Yeah, Max, I'm a little bit concerned about the longevity of Max when they're pulling something that got announced alongside Max to be a HBO show first and then go on to Max at a later date.
If anything, I think this gives more weight to the whole idea of Max and Paramount merging.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Because
they clearly don't completely believe in their product.
They could drop Max, and this being a HBO show is very easy to be like, oh, look, here's your HBO shows on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. I said ages ago they should just license it to a bigger company, but everyone wants their slice of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
I think in a world right now, everyone seems to want to have complete control over something, from the rights of what you're adapting, the script of what you've adapted. You want to have your own production company do the production. You want to have your own editing company do the editing. People seem to want to outsource stuff internally, if that makes sense. So just a different subdivision.
Yeah, they just want to control every aspect of it nowadays.
Yeah. Which means instead of what Netflix made their money doing, which was buying the license to stream a show, they're now like, no, I want to be my own distributor. And it's like, okay, cool, you're a production company, though. You don't know what it takes to be a distributor, and you're going to fuck it royally. Because if they sell Penguin to Netflix, Netflix will make it available around the world. Max doesn't have the infrastructure to be available around the world.
Yeah.
Which is killing shows on arrival.
Yep, it is.
I moaned about this a couple of weeks ago, but we're still going to discuss it. Watchmen Chapter 1 trailer.
I did watch this.
Is it just me, because I'm already being a bit negative about this project altogether? Or did the animation feel very underwhelming?
I think that the animation isn't bad. I think the slight issue we have is we've been very spoilt with very creative, unique animation styles from Spider-Verse, pushing its like creativity, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was its own
mutants, and it could have been X-Men 97 or Teenage Mutant
also
Ninja Turtles.
That, but like X-Men 97 as well. Like they've all been very different in their styles and all kind of pushed their like limits of what they could do. And this is a very it's a very simple like 3D cell shade. Like it's just like it's nothing that's
very
creatively
2012.
Yeah, it's not really like pushing creatively in a new direction. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I think it's just an animated show. It's not like it doesn't stand out necessarily.
Okay, that's fair. The trailer's the trailer. It's telling a story we've seen done like 5 million times in the last 20 years. The comic's a good comic, but people seem to forget like the point of the comic, and as a result, they're kind of annoying me. I'll probably give it a go if it's easy to get hold of, but it's owned by HBO, so it'll probably be impossible to watch. But I just don't think we need like the live action Watchmen show literally finished like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And we're already getting another reboot of the exact same story.
It almost feels like they're trying to capitalize on the hype around animation and superhero stuff in animation. Who knows?
Agree.
Maybe we'll be really shocked.
Maybe, but it feels unnecessary.
I get it.
Matthew Chauncey is taking over the X-Men 97 writing for season 3. He worked on What If previously. So there has been minor rewrites for season 2, and season 2 is now completely finished with the work Bodemeyer did before he left and slight alterations that have been made post. the information we have, I don't think it's been clarified whether Matthew Chauncey did the slight changes, if Bo DeMaio finished off with them changes, or if another writer or the writer's room made them changes.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's slightly from Matthew Chauncey. If he's helping with season 3 and there's something they're like, okay, this is where it's leaving off. Maybe he's brought in another fresh idea of something they could do within season 3 to continue the story that needed a little bit of setup in season 2. And they've just written those bits in.
My only concern,
Hmm.
Bo DeMaio is a gay black man writing about the X-Men, who are allegories for minorities. He gets it. They're characters that are probably very important to him, which is why he probably did such a good job. I understand for whatever reason they let him go. We have no reason to assume that it was not the right decision to let him go, or that he was let go in a malicious way.
Yep.
Matthew Chauncey's a straight white dude who wrote What If, which has been, overall story-wise, a poorly received show.
Yeah.
There are some, I think, valid concerns about when it gets to season 3, we're going to notice a massive drop-off in the quality of the writing.
Because obviously there is multiple writers on a show.
Yes, of course.
It kind of depends on... A lot of those from the first 2 seasons will probably still be there working on season 3. Hopefully, he leans on them a bit more heavily because they can keep to allow the consistency of like the tone to follow through, and he just maybe gives overarching story directions to where he thinks the story should go, and the other writers help like write that in. But yeah, like you said, there is a chance that we have to be ready for season 3. Does it have a tone shift or noticeable tone shift that then is going to be, okay, well, this is because you changed head writer.
And it might not necessarily even be that it's worse, but there might be a tone shift that makes it feel like a different show.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man Noir show is moving. It's been confirmed to be 8 episodes by Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
And some of the other cast are coming out now. So Brendan Gleeson, who I know most famously for playing Mad-Eye Moody in the Harry Potter franchise.
Oh, right, yeah.
Is apparently signed on to play the villain.
Oh, okay.
And Lamorne Morris, who played Winston in New Girl.
Okay.
Is set to play Robbie Robertson, according to Deadline.
Okay.
I like these castings. I mean, Brendan Gleeson's a very talented actor. We know this.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know who the villain is, so we don't know if it's a good casting for that particular villain. But he's a good actor. Ironically, I've just started watching New Girl properly for the first time.
I've seen good chunks of it, but not like fully.
So just all of a sudden on my Twitter feed, seeing Winston, as I now know, just like, hey, that's Winston, and in like a project that I'll have to keep a close eye on, was just quite funny to me. I have no real feelings on this show yet. It feels like a show we don't need, but sometimes the stuff you don't need ends up being really good.
Hey, it's more Spider-Man content. It can't be any worse than the Sony Spider-Man content.
I mean, it's by Sony.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It can't be any worse than their films.
Yeah. It's interesting, to say the least. We'll give it a chance.
Okay. Yeah.
Even if it's just a 1 season 8 episode kind of almost like mini series, it might be a cool project.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of got to a point now where I just kind of want cool stuff.
Yeah, I know. I get that.
Talking of cool stuff, summer 2026, we are set to see Toy Story 5 and Shrek 5 both release. How old are we?
Do you know what would be amazing? And as long as it's not a forced thing, but if these released on the same day, purely by like another Barbenheimer, Shrek Story 5.
Oh. I did see something very funny. We've not really spoken about the election, which was happening last week as we recorded.
I think I've seen this meme.
Yeah, the Labour government got in, but the last time a Shrek film released, Labour were in power in the UK, and they've now been back in power for like just over a week now, or no, just coming up to a week now. And we had another Shrek film announced.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Just coincidence. Pure coincidence.
Yes, complete coincidence. But I do like to think some random American somewhere was like, they have gone back to Labour. They can have another Shrek film.
Yeah. It's just been sat there waiting this whole time.
I'm not excited for it because I think it's needless. But I know when it gets closer, I'm going to be like, fuck it, I could go for some Shrek.
Here's the thing. It's like Toy Story 5 and Shrek 5. I think Shrek 5 more so than Toy Story 5 is still being made for our generation because we remember it so fondly. Toy Story has
13-year-olds who grew up without ever having a Shrek film release.
But it's like Toy Story, they've managed to, like, the toys got handed on to the little sisters. Like they've shifted it onto like a new generation. Like it's not the Andy generation anymore. So they can kind of get away with like, it makes sense to keep making them.
But I also don't understand where the story goes from the end of Toy Story 4. I'm curious to see what their plan is here. In the least, I'm a man caring about children's films way. I'm just curious. But yeah, I just thought that was wild that we're getting another Shrek film. I thought we'd never see another one.
I want it to end with a karaoke session.
Yes.
At the credits.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone can sing along to.
For sure. Alex Cross. The series being made
that you sent me
Prime.
About. Yes.
Yes. So, obviously, we've spoken about Jack Reacher a few times on here. We've never done a series watch along, but I've mentioned it a couple of times. It's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad's massively into books. He's read the Jack Reacher books a little bit, but some books he really loves are the Alex Cross books by, I believe, James Patterson.
Right.
And he's a big fan of them. He's very similar to Jack Reacher, but less about being a physical and more detective style. So it's less punchy punch, military police, and it's more police officer in like thriller mind games.
Okay.
And I'm excited for this because seeing how well Prime Video adapted Reacher gives me a lot of confidence in them to make these in a good way. So that's now set to release on November 14th.
Okay.
We will wait for a trailer. If it's something you're into, Hori, maybe we give into it. We are still primarily a nerd podcast, but we kind of watch anything that piques our interest these days.
We're just nerds for food as well now.
Yeah. But I'm very curious to see how this show goes, and I think if they can stick the landing like they did with Reacher, I'm calling it now. This could be like an all-timer crime show if they stick to the landing.
If they stick the landing with this, Prime's killing it at the moment.
Prime is doing what ironically used to be the norm in film and TV. They're going, right, what books are there? Let's read them. Do we like them? Do we see this being done on the small screen or the big screen? Okay, let's see if we can get the rights.
Yeah. Or they're having people come along and be like, we've got this idea.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll fund it.
That's what was done for the longest time. And because they don't have like any IPs that they own, they're not getting caught in the trap that other companies are where they're just trying to recycle their IPs.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I hate Amazon. They're a dog shit company. I despise them. I would like for them to go bust. However, me deciding to not use their platform isn't enough to cause them to go bust. And they are releasing stuff I want to watch. So,
and also, some of this money still goes to the people behind these shows and the creatives behind it. So it's like, at least those people are getting the bag.
Yes. As far as I know, Prime Video still does lose money. So
probably.
It's actually our civic duty to watch it. The Reeves Batverse. I'm just going to call it Batverse for anything Reeves related because there's not a better word. The Arkham Asylum project that was set in the Reeves verse has been scrapped apparently, according to Variety. I don't know if there's any real reason given. I don't know really how far they got into it. I don't know if it was just we're gonna give you like enough money to go and like work on this idea a little bit more. And then they were like, nothing really comes of it. Or if Matt Reeves went, actually, in the direction me and James have decided I'm taking my Batman, this doesn't make any real sense. So we don't think we should do it. I don't know, but it's not happening.
I wonder if either something with James Gunn and like maybe it gets too, it's going to make things a bit too messy with where they want it to go, or it could be that obviously he was given like creative reign to come up with what he wanted. This could have been an early idea he had, and then maybe now writing the Batman 2, he's like, actually, I can do all the sort of stuff I wanted to do with an Arkham show within the film, like setting up that stuff. Like it could be that that stuff's just going to fit into other shows or films, and he's like, it doesn't need its own project.
Yeah,
or at least
completely.
at the moment.
Completely possible.
Who knows?
The D23 event programming has been released. Is it D23 still, or is it D24 this year?
No, well, everything's been saying D23 still.
Okay, so maybe the 23 isn't to do with the year then. Okay, cool. That's fine. I was just curious. But yeah, the event program has been released. Some of the notable things, obviously, it was leaked. I don't know, reported a few weeks back that D23 is expected to focus more on Disney Plus stuff.
Yes.
And San Diego Comic-Con will be more to do with films. So we've got an idea of some things we're going to get a bit of information about at D23. So Percy Jackson Season 2. There's an event going on for people who attend to do with that. We're hoping we might get some more information released as a result of that as well.
My understanding is there's like multiple panels and things go on, like at any event thing like that. There is like you said, there's one for Percy Jackson where they're going to discuss about how it was to make the book into a show, and then also reveal potentially some things about season 2. So whether we get just teasers, bit of information, whether we get any sort of trailery teaser, I don't know, doubt it. Probably be more information on what to expect in the next season. And then there's also an animation panel.
Yes. And a lot of what by the sounds of it, we're expected to get teasers for all of these.
Yeah.
Is my understanding.
Like info on animated stuff and teasers specifically, I think, for these things.
So we've got your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which I'm very excited for. Always excited for more Spider-Man content.
Yep.
Eyes of Wakanda, a show we know very little about. We just know it's like an anthology series set in Wakanda.
Which hopefully could be very cool.
There's some cool stories waiting to be told there. Let's see if they pull it off.
Hopefully.
What If Season 3?
Yep.
And I think most surprisingly, based on like how quickly we've had the last season of this, X-Men 97 Season 2. To already potentially have something to show us would be insane for that.
The thing is, we know they'd already had it written, and the animation team will have gone straight into working on the next season because so like this could be very much just a teaser for like the opening of the season.
Maybe.
I imagine, because I feel like the trailer only ever really gave us a teaser for what the start of the season was like.
Yeah.
So it could just be like we get a few animated clips of like what's going to happen now after the end of season 1. I don't know, but
yeah, not wrong. But it looks like, just based on that information we've got there, it looks like it could be quite a fun D23 with lots of things for us to get excited for.
I imagine the main panel will have all your TV show stuff, like all the any Star Wars stuff, any Marvel shows, any of the like the spotlight.
That kind of live action Star Wars and Marvel stuff will be kept a lot more under wraps. They wouldn't want to risk anyone knowing for certain that we're getting an Andor Season 2 release date. Give it to me.
There's 2 things in the event programming. I don't know if you like read through it all. There's also like interactive things going on at, I presume, at Disneyland. There's an interactive, you can enter the world of the TVA, which sounds pretty cool. I did see
that. That looks kind of fun.
And then there's also a Star Wars one, which also is like a Lucasfilms thing. Also very jealous. Wish I could go do